Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Janelle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I love that you're doing a party to celebrate your licensure. That's amazing. Love that idea.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure,
I'm looking
sure.
forward to it.
That's great. That is so good. That is so good.
And I appreciate you guys letting me use the office. So,
Oh, 100%. That's what it's for.
well, I definitely appreciate it so much.
Sure. Astrid, I see you're on.
Good morning. How's everybody
Good,
doing?
good, good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm awake.
Yeah, right, right. You had a late night last night?
I had a busy day yesterday, so being
Yeah.
outside in the heat just made me like exhausted.
Yeah, it's withering. It's withering.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, glad you're
Hey
on.
guys, how you doing? You enjoying Colorado?
Yeah, yeah, it's not quite as humid. I mean, it was like 98 degrees yesterday, but there was like 19% humidity. Went for a long walk this morning. It was actually refreshing. So that was nice. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well,
Well,
we
we
got a
got,
bunch of note takers. Hopefully, we'll get some people on video. We need to
yeah,
start giving awards out or rewards out for like prizes for people that come on video.
I love that. I love that. Like cash prizes. All right. So we have me, you, Astrid, Janelle, and about a dozen note takers.
That is totally fine. We can rock and roll.
Yep. Yep.
Hi, Janelle.
We'll give another minute.
Hey, Chris. Sorry about that. I was trying to come off mute.
Oh, you're fine.
How are
You're
you?
fine. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
There we
Are
go.
you, hey, Janelle, I was going to ask you, are
Uh-huh.
you available to come to our team meetings regularly on Tuesdays, or is that a bad time for you?
Yeah, I can't, unfortunately, because I'm a principal's admin assistant at a middle school here in the
That's
area.
right. Okay.
And so I work like I'm a 12-month employee, so I work in the summers too at least for now,
I
unless
got
we
you.
change it next year. But hopefully sometime I might be able to. I really
Yeah.
want to.
No,
I will
you're
tell you
fine.
that.
It's for people that are working dual careers. We totally understand. And at the same time, I'm going to talk to David. Maybe we can come up with at least a once a month, like evening or something where those that are working dual careers can be a part of even something like this. But even being a part of something like this is it's just as good. Just I like people to get in person to build the relationships. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I would love if you guys could have it in an evening once a month. I would love that 100%. And I would definitely be there. I would show up.
Okay. That's
That's a
good.
great
That's
idea.
good. Thank you.
Astrid's on here too. She was working outside in the heat yesterday, so she's recovering from that.
Hey, Fatuma, how you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you guys?
I'm
Shalom.
doing good. We miss you. I missed you on Tuesday, but I
Oh
figured
my
you're still
goodness.
moving.
Yes, but I do stream the meeting, so I was watching.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
I just
Awesome.
haven't been able to come to it's still kind of settling in, but very thankful.
That's good though. Yep.
Thank you.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm in Colorado with my mom visiting my sister here. She was in a car accident 35 years ago, has a traumatic brain injury, and has been here at a great home. They do such a great job caring for her, and we'd like to bring her home. But right now, the best thing for her is to stay in the environment that she's gotten known to and gotten comfortable with. And anybody as we get older or any kind of brain impairment whatsoever, it's always best to try to keep that person in familiar surroundings, familiar people, with as little new stimuli as possible. Gosh, I could go off on a tangent on that and talk about different. Anyway, so Astrid, Janelle, Fatuma, and Chris are here. If anybody else comes on, just say something because I've got 3 pages here on my phone, and I'm just on the one page. It's got the video of your faces. So there's Aaron. Aaron, you're probably cutting grass, maybe.
I'm sitting in the truck right now, but yes.
All right, good. You got some air conditioning going?
Nope, you don't use that. Otherwise, you end up sitting in the truck and not working. So I just wait.
That's good. I love that. Great discipline. Good way to get yourself focused in the right kind of mindset. That's good.
My guys don't like it though.
Well, but it keeps them working though, right?
It does.
There you go, Chris. You just need to maybe turn off the AC in the office and get us out of there, so we're out working with people.
That's funny. Good morning,
Well,
Aaron. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Yeah. So I've a couple weeks ago, and then again this week. I wasn't there for this Tuesday, but I know Chris was talking about building a legacy business for yourself and the different kind of mindsets that we need, different kind of behaviors, different kinds of ways that we need to really think in a different way about leveraging other people, their gifts, their skills, their talents, the things that they're good at. With things that we might not be as good at, or that by them doing something, working with us, it frees us up to do what we're really good at, and frees us up to, in real estate, to prospect new leads, to nurture new leads, and be ready when they're ready to rock and roll. So last week we spoke specifically about changing our mindset from thinking like a W-2 employee, which the whole educational system trains us on from the time of nursery school, kindergarten, through high school, and even into college. We bell rings and we go to class. Bell rings, we leave class for a different class, and we're just kind of trained to work like that, where we punch in a time clock. I remember my first job as a dishwasher in a nursing home kitchen. That's what introduced me to the field of gerontology. I'd clock in, I'd clock out. I'd work a certain amount of hours, and I would get paid a certain amount every 2 weeks. And boom, it's just you do your work. You're trading time for dollars, right? And so, and we want to change that mindset so that we think beyond that. We're thinking algebraically or geometrically instead of additionally, right? Where we're just trading basic elementary math for higher math, where we learn how to leverage time. And I know Chris has been talking about that. I'll ask him a little bit more here in a minute. But we also spoke about, not just changing our mindset, but leveraging. We spoke about that some. And then we talked about business building behaviors last week. And we may touch on those things. But Fatuma, you listened in. I'm going to put you on the spot. What were some of the things that Chris was highlighting during the team meeting? And it's okay if you don't. I know it, but what do you remember from the team meeting?
Okay, well, I remember about 2 times is better than is easy. 10 times is better than 2 times. So I went ahead and downloaded that. I'm going to listen
What
to
does that mean? 10 times is better than 2 times.
It's more about thinking about, like when you were saying that when you have 2 children, a third child is like a piece of cake. Well, it's easier when you have a third child. So it was more about thinking about expanding your mindset, if I'm remembering, where you are not really stopping yourself from going forward, like taking steps. Is that right? You were, from what I understand, and just not being afraid.
Yeah, it was from the book 10X is better than 2X. So how to 10X your life versus 2X.
So Fatuma, is there anything else that you want to say about that? That was great. Great that you pulled that. And of course, Chris used, that analogy of children, and that resonated with you. And it's important when we're speaking, teaching, to be able to have different concepts that people will grab a hold of, so that they remember what's trying to be taught. Is there anything else that you remember?
To me, I could relate to that just because when I did have my third child, it was easier than I thought it was going to be. And also because that is something that is like a mindset, like break thing because I have not yet been my own business. I've always been somebody who worked. But at the same time, I'm thinking as a mother, I'm always kind of managing my own time. I am managing the children. I'm managing their time. I am basically my own business. I am just not being paid for it. And so I'm realizing that if I just apply that mindset onto, okay, well, with children, they don't give you a choice, so you have to expend yourself. They're going to be there. So when you are doing that with thinking with the business, it's like if I just think to myself, it's just a child and it's going to be there. I have to take care of it. I have to manage it the way I manage my children, or else it will not grow. I am just like putting myself in a position where I'm like, if I don't put into it like a gardener, I would be kind of silly to expect any kind of fruit, right? So that's kind of like more my kind of like what I got out of it. Like I try to apply to myself because I know that it's kind of hard for me sometimes to think of it because I struggle with that because it's so new to me. But if I think of it that way, I I am gonna get up and do the things that I need to do because my children require the same thing.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. And it takes sometimes dramatic changes in our lives for us to break out of the paradigm. As we were growing up, going through the traditional educational system, we're taught one paradigm, one way of thinking. And then, of course, as we're children and then even young adults, we're very self-centered, very self-focused. All of a sudden you have kids and like, oh my goodness, Lord, thank you for showing me how self-centered I am. Well, first, when we get married, he shows us that. And then with kids on top of that. Right. And Janelle, I see some of that resonated with you. Is there anything you want to share, Janelle?
I mean, to piggyback off Fatuma, I mean, I agree. I mean, I feel like, even though she's not getting paid for her own little business that she has between, herself and her kids, she's having to take care of her kids and make, I mean, I definitely can relate with that just because, I mean, I'm working. I mean, of course I do get paid at the school, but I'm also managing my time, outside of that, getting my real estate business going. And I do have a family, so making time for them too. And I mean, it's like you have your own little business, but you're not getting paid for that part of it, as far as like family.
Yeah. That's great. Astrid, before I bring Chris in here, is there anything that you want to share? Anything resonate with you?
So I'm listening to the ladies and I'm like, you know what? We need to update our resumes because we are the janitors, we are chefs, we are nurses,
Come on. Yes.
I'm like, if only we could truly like make a resume and people actually, take that into accountability that, we literally do this on a daily basis. We just don't have the proper licensing for it or, education, as they would say.
I would say your licensing is more legit as a mom than it is going to some governmental entity.
Amen.
Honestly. Right. Yeah. So, Aaron, do you want to share any of your experiences as a mom?
I'm taking notes, Aaron.
All right. Maybe he's out of the truck right now.
Yes,
Go ahead, man.
I identify as a mom in today's modern society, and it's just really tough because my hair isn't growing very long anymore, and it's just crazy. So, and my makeup, my Ulta makeup membership expired. So yeah, I don't really know what all that's about. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got. Nothing funny.
We get all props to you, sister. Keep on going, man. All right, Chris. I always know that I never know what Aaron's going to say when I provoke him a little bit, but Chris, go ahead, man.
Yeah. So here's one of the reasons why I want us to talk about this. And it's like, no, we got to keep talking about this. Like, because the 90, if there's 100 realtors that are going to come into the business, 90% of them are not going to make it. And then of the 10% that are going to make it, less than 2%, 2 or 3% of those are going to even make a living or be successful. And yet they all started out with a common theme. Like they all started out with dreams They had dreams that they wanted to accomplish. They believed that something could happen. And yet I believe that one of the things that's happening is we don't know how to think. And so we talked on Tuesday, and I want to talk more about it. An agent has clients, a CEO has a company. So the question is, which one are you? Do you just want to have clients, or do you want to have like a company? And I guess when I think about that, I think, man, I've got to get real about this and say, okay, I would rather have a company where I'm building a team that is serving my clients, because then I can help more people. What does that mean to you guys? And I'll start with David and pick on David for a minute, since he's enjoying beautiful Colorado. David, what is the difference to you in being an agent that has clients versus a CEO that has a company that serves the clients?
Right. Yeah, and those stats are daunting, right? Those stats that you threw out there, Chris. And I just want to assure every one of you that are on here that Chris and I have been through the same struggles that you have and will have as a brand new realtor. But if you don't give up, if you don't give in, if you don't quit, you will win. And we're here with you. We're ready, because we've been in the trenches. We know how difficult it can be. And it's something that in the very beginning doesn't pay you as much as the effort that you're putting in. In fact, as you're finding out, it'll cost you a little bit to get licensed and all of that. But if you keep pressing in, it will pay you more. You'll get overpaid, right, for the work that you put in. If you keep doing, if you start thinking, not just adding value to your clients, which of course you want to do, but think of yourself as the CEO of your business. I'm here in Colorado. I'm looking at my hotel room. Hey, I'm getting ready to pack up, so I got clothes all over. But here on the back wall of my what are those? Do you recognize those things? What are they?
Looks like a bull.
They're bull cows. There's a bull
Bulls,
and cows up
cows.
there.
Yeah. Hey, Rachel.
And so hey, Rachel. And a great book, and it's funny, but it's super good about changing your paradigm about yourself, what you're capable of. It's called Rhinoceros Success. It's something that a friend of mine recommended to me a few years ago, and I absolutely love it. It's a humorous but very informative. And one of the illustrations he gives is that, and I'm going to apply it to real estate, is most realtors treat their business as if they're cows in a pasture, cows in a field. I'm out in a field, and there's some realtors I've seen, pictures of themselves in a field. Hey, I'm working out in the field. And a cow, what does a cow do? A cow sits there and grazes on the grass. It's right in front of it, and it kind of, in a realtor sense, it waits for things to happen. It sits there. Whereas with Rhinoceros Success, the other side of that imagery and mentality is a rhinoceros charges. A group of rhinoceros is called a crash, right? It's just active. It's got thick skin. It keeps going. It gets hit. It keeps going. And it's, and he just makes this whole illustration, and it's a different mindset. And so I want to go from thinking of myself as an employee or just even a sole owner of my business, to being a CEO. And so, and not everybody's going to do this, and that's fine. There's some realtors who stay focused on the 1+1 mentality, and they have a measure of success, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm ultimately looking for, and what I believe you are as well, is time freedom, right? What am I doing this for if I'm just always prospecting, nurturing leads, looking for ways to provide value to my clients, all of that, and I'm looking for the next one? I get a transaction done, and I've got to go hunt another one, right? But I want ultimately I want to build a business that creates for me more time freedom. I love having time freedom. Here I am in Colorado visiting my sister, but this business model affords me that kind of leveraged time, that ability to be able to still be working my business. And I've got a couple of others that I continue to work while I'm away. And while I'm doing what I want to do. I love seeing my sister. I love spending time with my mom. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I was a W-2 employee. And I'm grateful for all the things that I learned as a W-2 employee. Gosh, I can't remember the last time I was a W-2 employee. It might have been 35 years ago when I worked for hospice. 35 years. Chris is the first thing to a direct boss that I've had in about 30 years. Can you believe that? I mean, he's got to, deal with this guy that doesn't, you know, anyway. So I love this though. I love the time freedom that I have. I have a lot of flexibility. 5 years from now, I want to have a lot more. Thank you very much. I want to enjoy grandchildren. I want to enjoy my wife more. Our kids have moved out. We have all this, this home, and we're enjoying one another in ways that we haven't been able to do in 31 years since we started having children. And I love that season of our lives. Having children, I wouldn't give it up for anything. I love that, love that, love that. I love being a dad. I love being a father. But man, now I get to spend more time with my wife. And if I had a W-2, I'd have a lot less time to rediscover this woman I'm like, whoa, you're amazing, right? I get to experience more of the depth that has grown and evolved and developed within her over the last 3.5 decades. And I share all this with you. Each of you have your own idea of what you want your life to be like now, a few years from now, and maybe 10, 20, 30 years from now. And if you start to think of this real estate business in a little different way, and it's significant though, where you're thinking exponentially, logarithmically, where you're developing the foundation for time freedom. So I've shared a lot on that. Chris, is that kind of what you were looking for?
Yeah, I guess my other follow-up question, and by the way, David, while you were gone, we were able to announce that Rachel is now a licensed realtor.
I love that.
So it's all over Facebook now. So it is. It is public. So it's time for her to get to work.
Yeah. So Rachel, that's so awesome. She got to see all these payouts going to realtors, and she's saying, "What the heck am I doing? I love being I'm enjoying my job now, but man, I want to make this kind of time freedom money." Right, Rachel?
Yep.
Yeah.
So here's my question for all of us. And so, David, you did a good job kind of answering from your vantage point. My question is, so we can do with Fatuma or Rachel or even Janelle, as she can answer. Or even Aaron, what are the mental barriers that you need to make it to get through to transition from being a employee or from being just an agent helping clients to being an agent that's running a company, a team, because they're two separate things. So what are some of the mindset shifts that you need to make?
So when you were mentioning about the 2% out of all of the 100%, my mindset has to always just go to be like, I am one of the 2%. I have to say I am one of the 2%. Like yes, I cannot think the other way of my steps are going to follow that which I believe. And when you were talking about company versus clients, to me, it's more like when you invest into people, when they become your business, they come back. It's kind of like when you say rhinoceros business, it's kind of like, it made me think of that Bible verse where it talks, you have anointed my head like that of a unicorn. And that verse of the unicorn is really the rhinoceros, the unicorn rhinoceros, which is its scientific name, which is stronger than the two-horned rhinoceros. And he can charge through anything without any fear. And so I think that in order to me, for the company, it's like, if I invest into people, if I don't see that I am doing just a charge, I'm investing into their lives, then that is what's going to expand. Because like I always think that people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And so if you have a transaction with somebody, they will remember you because of the way you took care of them. But if you go to like a bank and you talk to a teller and they just do the transaction and you go out, you may remember the transaction, but you may not remember the teller. And so to me, it's just about investing in people, and then having the understand, if I have the mindset, then I have to find the people. My husband always used to say, take advice from those who have what you want. And so now I have to look at the people who have what I want, who are successful in doing that which I am envisioning that I don't have the tools to do because I'm clueless about it. I just have a mindset about it. I just have a theory about it, but I don't have the practice because the real estate is new to me. So now it's looking at the people who have what I want and emulating that which they can do, which is kind of like, and have mentorship in that so that I can learn in doing the things that I need to do to practically do that which is in my mind to do. But the transition is difficult.
I just heard a quote. I read a quote. It was last night, I think, or early this morning. And it basically said, get around people that their daily routine is your fear.
Mm-hmm. You said it.
And I'm like, that is freaking amazing. Like, get around people. And so you want to be a multimillionaire, and you want to think like a large CEO and business owner. You've got to get around in the rooms, at the tables with people that are thinking and already doing day to day what your fears are already. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, they can do that. I can do that. And I think that's what happened with Rachel. I challenge all of my staff when they can. I want them to be investors with me. And the reason why is because I don't want them to just be an employee. I want them to think and to do what we're talking about here. And I think that Rachel was around this enough to where she's like, okay, I want that. And so I think one of the changes that had to happen with me, and it's been over the years, and David and I were talking about this briefly last night, is leveraging. How can I leverage my time? Because we only have so much time, energy, and focus. Would you guys agree with that? We don't have unlimited time. We all have the same amount of time. Some of us have more energy than others, depending on how we take care of our bodies, right? And then focus. We only have so much focus. And so the illustration that I gave was like, hey, if you had, I was talking to my friend Chris Ward, and I said, if you could have 500 clients a year, could one person take care of 500 clients a year by themselves, do the paperwork, go to the closings, go to the showings, go to the open houses, go to the inspections? Could you take care of 500 clients a year by yourself? What do you guys think the answer is? There's no right or wrong, but we're going to talk to it.
No, without sacrificing someone, something, your family, something, your time.
Why? That's right. Because here's what I do. Okay. I take my calculator, and I go, okay, 500 clients a year divided by 365 days a year. That means that every day, Monday through Sunday, every holiday, I would have to be selling one house, 1.3, actually 1.4, some days 2, some days 1 house a day. That becomes impossible. Now, let me ask you a question. This is where I want you guys to see about leveraging. If I brought on a showing assistant that showed the houses, so I don't have to drive around town and go around here and go here and get out of my truck and do this and do that. I hire a showing assistant that shows all the houses. So I don't go out and show houses. I don't go in inspections anymore. Okay. I hire somebody to do my paperwork. Okay. And then eventually I hire a listing specialist that can list the houses and go out to the houses. And then I hire a buyer's agent. Could I handle more than 500? Why? Why do you think? Aaron, if you can hear us, I'd love to hear what you think. Why do you think? Or someone, Mattel or Janelle?
Yeah, I'll stop and answer that. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's real estate, if it's lawn mowing, if it's anything. If you can hire competent, good people, or great people, as Barry Keller says, you can exponentially do whatever you want. As you said, it's 1.2 houses a day, roughly. I mean, whether if you had that many leads and that many closings, it's great, but you won't have, it's impossible. I mean, it really is. So you have to hire out the leverage. You have to hire out the people that can help you do that. That's the trickiest part ever, which you guys have to work out on the finding competent, great people. But then that way you can focus on more the bigger money making ideas. So that's what I would say.
Aaron, you're absolutely right. And here's the thing. This is why I don't want to let go of this conversation, because I know we talked about last week. I know we talked about it Tuesday. I know we're talking about it again. Here's why. Because until we start doing it, if you look at all of your successful people that you have a lot of admiration for, that have time, energy, focus, finances to be able to do what they want to do. They're successful moms. They're able to hang out with their family. They're able to go on vacations and go on mission trips and do things for the Lord. Those are people that have learned to leverage. And so I think there's a mind shift that has to happen where I'm going to go, okay, I've got to learn to leverage and buy back my time. Because if I don't buy back my time, I'm going to give something up. So let me give you an example. I made the decision several years ago. I love mowing. So I still mow the backfield. We live on 6 acres. I have my front and my sides mowed every week. They mowed yesterday, and they weed eat, and then they blow it. And the reason, and they weed eat around my pond. Here's why. First of all, I hate weed eating. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Second of
Amen.
all, it takes me to cut the 6 acres and to weed eat. It takes about 4-ish hours. I love doing it. And then I realized, you know what? That means I have to give up one night a week for 4 hours. So I have to give it up with my wife. I have to give it up with my clients, with my church staff, with my market center leadership. Do you guys follow what I'm saying? If I didn't do this, so now I pay to have that mowed. It's worth my time, energy, and focus to have that mowed. Does that make sense? That's called leverage. Janelle, what are some things that you could leverage in your real estate or in your family or whatever that would help give you time, energy, and focus back? If you're able to answer.
I mean, I guess, as far as like leveraging my time and stuff, I think there's some things that, like eventually, I mean, I would like to just be able to, manage on the real estate side of it and not, have to deal with managing my time here at the school, managing my time with the family, and having to, manage all this time to where I can, I mean, at least what I'm trying to say is I would like to be able to just do one, and that's the real estate. Like my dream is to be a CEO, in real estate. Like I want to have that own business to where I don't have to do, I want to be able to kind of have all this extra time for that and my family. And I want to be able to hire people down the road and get, to manage like the listings or, or the showings or, et cetera. So that way I'm able to have that extra time for my family. Cause like right now I'm having to manage, my time for all three, the school, the real estate, and my family. And so trying to manage that sometimes is a little bit, sometimes I have to take away from it, spending time with my family to get this, real estate business built. And so I think I just need to learn how to, just basically making sure that I don't lose focus and lose track, to where I'm like losing that time, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I'll let you know that David and I are 100% available. If you will schedule a time with one of us or both of us together, I would love to, or he would love to, we both can do it, show you the pathway. So let me just be clear. If you're going to move from a employee or a agent mindset to a CEO of running a company, it is going to take time. So there is going to be a build-up time. There's going to be a time it's going to take time, energy, and focus. And You're going to have to learn some stuff. Like I had to learn how to do contracts before I hired it out. And so, but I would love to show you that pathway and set it up on months and years so that you can move toward launching of your business and then launching of your company and then scaling it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because I would recommend every agent, and I know we got agents that would disagree, but I'm going to tell you a little secret since none of them are on here and their note takers can, I doubt they'll even read it. So we'll see. If you're taking notes and you read your notes, come to Chris Pinion and tell me that you read your notes about this, because here's the secret. The secret is that you can do that, Janelle. In the next year or two, you could scale your business, and you have to have a plan. It's not going to happen by osmosis. You can get out of working for the school district. You can have more time for your family, and it's going to take time, energy, and focus. It's not going to happen with a little wand. If it happened with a little wand, everybody would be doing it. Now, let me tell you the secret. Here's where I don't think anybody will be reading their note takers. The people in our office that are resistant to leveraging, those that are on this call, we're going to leverage them. We're going to hire them to go look at houses and show houses for us. We're going to hire them to, do you see what I'm saying? I don't go to an inspection and sit on an inspection for 3 or 4 hours. That is a waste of my time. So I either get the inspector in with permission from the listing agent, and I'll go work and then I'll come back, or I'll hire an agent for $50 to $60 to go sit there for 3 or 4 hours. Does that make sense? So those that are on the call that are really smart, we're just going to leverage the people that are in our office that don't want to leverage. They'll become our leverage. Does that make sense? If they love doing the paperwork, we'll get them to do the paperwork. If they love going and showing houses, we'll go show houses. And while they're showing a house for us and we're paying them $60 to show a house, and then we're going to negotiate it over the phone, I'm going to go out and find another lead. I got a lead last night from a past client that is going to produce, stand by. I want to make sure I'm telling you the truth. We're going to sell their house for let's just go on the low side. We're going to sell their house for $600. And then they're looking at a house for $675. Okay. That's 1.75 million. Just FYI. The compensation on that would be $38,250 for 3%. Now, if I list the house and I get the 6%, then it would be up to $50,000. So even after I pay my brokerage, I'm still making a really good wage. Let me help you here. I won't have a lot of hours in that. So let's say I end up having, 38,000. So let's say it pays me after taxes 20,000. Everybody follow me? And let's say I'm going to call it, taking them around, showing their houses and everything. Let's say I've got 20 hours in it. I'm going to be making $1,000 an hour. Is that good or is that bad?
I'm going to say good.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Well, if you're not saying good, then that would mean that you're making over $1,000 an hour. And if the school district is paying you over $1,000 an hour,
stay there.
I want to know where I can sign up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So the point is, guys, like, it's going to be a mind shift, and you've got to be around people. I'm surrounding myself continually with people that think bigger than I think. Mm-hmm. Let me use an illustration. I started surrounding myself with people that are flipping houses and that are renting houses. It's probably been about 15 years ago. Got into real estate 9 years ago. I started surrounding myself with people that are doing it big. And now my coach makes $1 million a year in flipping houses. Then he also holds 4 houses a year to rent. So he's got rental income. And then his team does about 200 transactions a year. Okay. Here's my point. I'm doing everything my coach tells me to do. He said on every flip, do this, get new cabinets. I don't care if you think you can redo the cabinets, get new cabinets. So until I make $1 million in flipping houses, guess what I'm going to do? everything that he tells me to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is the problem with real estate agents. They will
Well,
not do what you tell them to do if you're more successful than them because they think they know better. That is a poor mentality. Poor people have been coaching me on how to flip houses. They're like, don't flip houses. You're going to pay a lot of money in taxes. Hello, let me ask you a question. If you made a lot of money, would you mind paying some of that back to taxes? Janelle, what do you think? If you made a lot of money, would you mind paying more taxes?
Not at all.
Not at all. Why? Because you're making more money.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
poor people advise me to not do the flipping of houses because then I'm going to pay taxes. Well, let me ask you a question. If you could make 100,000 and you had to pay 50 of it back to taxes, and then you'd only make 50,000, would it be worth it? Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're still making that 50,000. So, I mean, yeah.
and get a better CPA and tax attorney.
Yeah, but
Janelle,
that's right. That's right.
if you're paying that much. Janelle, you touched on something there about you're married, correct, Janelle?
Yes, I'm married.
And you
Mhm.
have do you have children?
I have adult kids, but I'm actually I'm getting ready to have my first grandbaby. So
Love that.
yay. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
Well,
you.
you touched on something that applies to all of us, because I have seen very financially successful people sacrifice their relationships. Now, they never would have said that right up front. Hey, I'm ready to sacrifice relationships for money. They would never, ever, ever say that. However, we can get so focused on building the business that we forget those other things. So as you're thinking, as you're consulting with others about a pathway to get that ultimately that time freedom by building your business, by thinking like a CEO, by building a legacy business, get agreements. Sit down with your husband, say, hey, honey, I'm still working with the school, but I've mapped this out. I'm talking to people who've done it. It's going to take some time here. It's going to take some time there, and make sure that your spouse is in agreement with you. Fatuma, with your children, I did this. I said, hey guys, when I reach this level in this business, we're going to celebrate by doing this. I'm going to get you guys these kind of gifts, and so they're rooting for me. They say, hey Dad, I know you're going to be gone tonight, or you have to go to a conference this weekend, but we're in with you. We are in with your success, and so we want to share with that. We know that even though we're going to miss you for a night or a weekend, that we're with you. It's a family thing that we're doing. So you get the buy-in of your spouse, of your family as well. I've seen too many guys, they're coming to my mind now that their marriages have just suffered, and their family has just suffered tremendously. They're making a great deal of money, but it's at the end of the day, it's not worth it.
Yeah, if you sacrifice your family or your health, that's a bad thing. Let me talk about one more thing that I think we have to have a mindset shift if we're going to run an effective business. It is our time. So let me give you an example. I, by nature, am not necessarily a very disciplined person. I've had to force myself and get coaches that help me be disciplined. So there are things that I'm disciplined in, but there's things that I'm not. The number one thing that people are not disciplined in when they start owning their own business is their time. They think, oh, I can sleep in today. Oh, I can go to the pool. Oh, I can go play golf. Oh, I can go do this. And they see other business owners doing that. The challenge is those other business people have been grinding and they've reached goals and they've had teams and everything to where they can do that. You haven't done that yet, so you haven't earned the right. So I would say if I'm coaching you, which I am, you're new into real estate, I would say you've got to tell yourself for a year, you're going to have to grind. Yep. You're going to have to jump on the masterminds. You're going to have to go do open houses. You're going to have to grind, set up the systems, and learn. Get in the room with people that are smarter than you, that are financially better than you, that are spiritually stronger than you, that are emotionally stronger than you, mentally stronger than you, and start doing what they do, period. Quit listening to what they tell you to do. And then, thank you, Janelle, I'm preaching. Quit listening to what they tell you to do and then going, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Like I'm going to do a little bit about what they're doing, but I'm not going to do the whole thing. No, do everything they tell you to do until you get to be as successful, if not more successful than they are. And so I want to challenge you guys. You're going to have to work. Here's why the average realtor does not succeed. I'm going to tell you why. You ready? This is a secret. You might want to write it down. They don't do anything. They don't get trained. I'm not trying to be mean. Our office asked me, they asked their OP for CE, continuing education hours, and I'm bringing CE classes to our office. Yesterday or Tuesday, we only had six people. So that would tell me that the other 20 some odd or almost 30, like that would tell me that they all have all of their continuing education credits that they need. I don't believe that to be true. I just believe that they don't know how to manage their time and they want to do whatever they want to do. You're going to have to. So let me give you an example. I am also a pastor, firefighter, and everything. I live in block scheduling. Okay. So Thursday mornings, I'm finishing up on a sermon. Okay. So I get to a place. Okay. I come to this restaurant every Thursday morning. Okay. Urban Egg in Overland Park. Every Thursday morning, I'm here by 7:30. Sometimes I'm here by 7. And I work minus the call we're doing now and some phone calls. I work and finishing up on my message until 1 p.m. You know why? Because that's my job. Does that make sense? And then at 1 p.m., I'm just telling you what happens. I get a haircut every Thursday at 3 p.m. At 1 p.m., I take a break and I make phone calls. I return emails. Sometimes I'll have a meeting at 1 o'clock till 2, and then I drive to get my haircut, and then I get ready for our Thursday night service. My point is, I'm very disciplined in how I spend my time. I do not just sit in an office and just to sit in an office. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
I think a lot of your realtors, they don't have a plan. They don't have a coach. And so they just think it's going to happen by osmosis, and it doesn't. And then all of a sudden a year later comes along and their dues are due and they got to pay $575 in MLS dues and everything. And they don't have it. You know what happened? I was having dinner with my wife last night. My client texted me about this let me see here, about the, whatever I said it was, 675 plus 600. So they text me about the $1.2 million, almost $1.3 million real estate transaction, you know? So when I got done with my wife and having dinner, I asked her permission, said, hey, can I jump on this call with these people? And I started working on that. Guess why? Because if I don't, and I don't answer their text until tomorrow morning, guess what? They might go to someone else.
Yep.
Does anybody have the money to leave 30 to 50,000 on the table? Nope. Let me ask you a question, Rachel. What would 30 grand in the next 6 months, because I already know the answer, but I want you to tell everybody, what would 30 grand do for you, your mom, and your brother?
I mean, I'd be able to fix my plumbing problem.
and
I'd be able to pay off some other stuff, and it would just completely change everything. And my stress level would go way down.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. I believe it's possible for all of you. I'm going to offer one more time. If you ask David and I, people are always like, oh, you're so busy. You're this. You know what? I'm focused, not busy. If you ask me to meet with me, if David or Rachel says, hey, can I talk to you or can we meet? I always give them time. Okay. I will do that for our agents, and David will do that for our agents, and Rachel will do that for our agents. But you know how many of them ask for our help regularly? None. Zero. Unless there's a crisis.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Sorry. Continue.
And that's fine. You know, you might have heard the term, you know, the teacher arrives when the student is ready. right? We're only ready to learn new things when we're ready, right? Nobody can make us do it, but our job, me, Chris, even and Rachel, is to be ready when you're ready, right? And we believe in you. I believe Rachel's life is going to change dramatically in the next year, dramatically. And I am so grateful. I love, Chris and I love building into people. We love seeing people succeed. We love sharing whatever we've learned. And we're not the end all and be all of all real estate knowledge. Leverage, get it with Chris, get with Sharon, anybody, but listen specifically to those people who have what you want, right? The time freedom, the financial success. Aaron, you've been raising your hands a couple of times here throughout. I want to make sure we give you a chance. And then Astrid, I want to give you a chance to chime in as well.
Yeah, I was just saying, I was trying to, there's a couple things there at different points when Chris was saying different things. I think the biggest thing is how not to become the 90%, right? Yeah. Now, granted, Business 101, you go to Business 101 school, they're going to say you should have 5 years of operating capital, which basically means plan on taking a loss for 5 years. That's just normal business. You got to withstand the storm while you get known. I guess my question is, and I think that's probably why there's 90% attrition rate on in this business, because people, they can't weather the storm. And I would just say, do you guys have any surefire methods? I mean, I know that sounds loaded, but it's not meaning to be loaded, but any surefire methods or semi-quasi surefire methods to success in your first 12 months, your first 18 months, your first 24 months?
I'll tell you what
that's really what I'm saying.
Thank you, Aaron. I'll tell you what I've seen. I've seen, and I've built teams in other businesses. I've seen people with all the potential in the world, all of it. And they'll go to training after training. They'll surround themselves with, or they'll put themselves with people who are extremely successful, great mindset. But the core is, and you talked about having enough capital to weather the storm, and that's important too. It's a crucial business piece of business that wisdom that's necessary that a lot of people don't have. But more importantly is, what are your limiting beliefs? Because I can only operate at the ceiling of what my limited self-limiting beliefs are. If I don't believe that I was created and called and equipped to and I have people and resources to really succeed beyond what I've ever dreamed of or imagined, then I won't rise beyond that ceiling. That my self-limiting beliefs are the cap of my success. And so I've had to deal with this. One of the things I have written in my office at home is, it sucks to not have enough money. It was funny. And sorry, a call came in. And because I have to remember how bad it is not to have money, to be in debt, to owe people, to have somebody breathing down your neck, and to have other people who have promised things that aren't happening, and you're suffering financially. And I don't ever want to be there again. And I have to not want that enough to, bottom line, and this is what Chris has been talking about too, is to do the work necessary to get myself out of that, to make sure I don't go back to that, to make sure that I'm continually pursuing time freedom that frees my heart, that frees my soul, that unlocks all the potential call that the Lord has given to me. So I could keep preaching here too. Astrid, I want to give you an opportunity to share. And then Rachel.
I appreciate everyone. I'm actually just sitting here just soaking all the information in. I've learned a long time ago, you are the company you keep. So, just like Chris was explaining earlier, how we have to leverage our time. Our time is money, number one. And then also, I'm learning even now, like everyone wants a piece of your time. And this is even outside of family, outside of clients, literally your friends. Everyone wants a piece of your time. And so what I'm learning on my personal level is that I have to learn how to manage my time effectively, because I've never been this busy in my life. Back then, I had all the time in the world, but I really don't have that time now. And so it's getting to the point where I even have to put friends on a calendar. Hey, you want to hang out? And then there's a lot of cases where I have to kind of hold back on hanging out with the friends, because
That's
I have
right.
to balance my studying for my real estate license, because these people aren't going to pay my bills, and I want to make money. I don't want to be out spending all this unnecessary money. So I'm learning how to balance my time more effectively, and to surround myself around people, not only that are doing better than me. I'm surrounding myself with people who are doing what I want to do. They don't necessarily have to be making more money, but they are doing exactly what I want to do. So I'm putting myself in rooms and creating relationships, because that's the most important thing. Everything shouldn't always be transactional. I want to build relationships, because I want people to talk about me years later, even if I'm not around them. I want to basically have a presence in their life that is everlasting. So
That's awesome. Thank you, Esther. That was great. Maytal, is there anything that you want to share? Give her a chance to figure out the microphone there. Rachel, what do you got as we're getting ready to close up here?
Sorry, I keep getting called. We've got like several crises I keep having to run to. What's the question?
Well, is there anything that you want to share as we're getting ready to close up from what we've been talking about today?
I only heard about half of it.
That's fine. That's fine. And you don't have to. I just want to give you an opportunity.
I'm trying to put out fires over here.
Keep going, firefighter.
So yeah, I think a lot of it is mindset. I see a lot of our agents that are struggling, and a lot of the ones that are struggling, truthfully, some of them, not all of them, but some of them are very hesitant to do any suggestions. They don't want suggestions. They don't want help. They don't want to learn. They don't want you telling them anything. And then I see the other side of it, where some people are doing an amazing job with just, grabbing the bull by the horns and jumping after it, and just like, I'm going to try this and see what works. And, they're just going for it. And it's just really interesting to see the dichotomy of how people are approaching things, and how approachable people are with even suggestions or whatnot. Because I've had several conversations with different agents in the last couple of weeks that are very different, and so it's very interesting. But I do think having the right mindset, having a teachable heart, and looking at things pragmatically and trying to put your emotions out of it, because I think a lot of times if you get emotional and you just think someone's trying to attack you and you get defensive, then you're not going to grow. And so you've got to be, you've got to look at it pragmatically and say, well, maybe my approach is not working. Maybe what I'm doing is not actually helping. Maybe I'm wasting my time on this task that's not generating any income. And I think, you've got to look at things and try things and be like, okay, well, I'm wasting my time. I'm spinning my wheels over here trying to do this. Maybe I should switch and do what people are, the agents who know what they're doing are telling me to do. Rather than wasting all of my time, energy, effort into this thing that they've decided, to just, this is what I'm doing. And so I think that's part of it. I think definitely I also see a lot of people who treat this like a business, like a job, like a 9 to 5. They're working. I mean, and I understand that a lot of people have other priorities. They have other jobs. They have, and that's different. I'm not talking about that, but there are some people trying to do this full time, but I never see them in the office. I know that I don't see any transactions coming, through with their name on it. I'm not writing them any checks, and I just have to wonder, like, is this are they prioritizing their time? Are they time blocking? Are they setting aside time to be productive with this? Or are they just hoping by osmosis that they magically get things that come in their lap? And I think that can happen sometimes, but very rarely. Those that are doing, that are seeing the results are doing the work. And so you've got to be willing to put your nose to the ground and do the work. But I do agree with a lot of these things. A lot of you guys talking about family and prioritizing. I will say I learned a lot from my dad. My dad, we owned our own businesses. Well, my dad owned his own businesses like my entire growing up years. And he would be working 60, 80 hours a week with the business, constantly putting so much effort, but he never neglected the family, ever. It didn't matter how many hours he worked. It didn't matter how exhausted he was. He always had date night with my mom every single week. We had 9 kids in our family. Okay. I was the oldest 9, every single week, my dad would take my mom on a date. And oftentimes it was a dress up date. And sometimes it was an expensive date. And sometimes it was free because we had no money. And so it was, taking my mom to the park and looking at the ducks and whatever, it's not all about the money, but it's about setting aside that time. So any of you guys married people, I would say it's really important to do a regular date night, do times, make sure you're setting a time for your spouse that, is maybe you turn your phone off for just 2 hours or whatever it is. And then also if you have kids, making sure, you prioritize them and you give them some time. I think that's really important because family is important. But you do also need to make sure I know I heard Chris talking about it, make sure you follow up with people. Agents tell me a lot of things. I hear a lot of people talking and I hear things like, I have these leads. And then what did you do with it? You didn't call anybody. You didn't follow up with anybody. You didn't do anything with it. I'll tell you the reason why we're getting so many agents in this office is because I'm following up with every single one of them who, if I get a lead, I'm following up. If they don't reach back, I reach out again, and then I reach out again. And I'll reach out 3 or 4 different times by text, by phone, by all the ways, and sometimes, they'll drop off and then I'll just let them go. But oftentimes it's because I'm following up. So you've got to do that.
Yeah. We're at 11:30. A lot of the great emotional intelligence, which is intelligence that we can actually grow and develop in. There's a couple of raised hands. If you need to go, it's 11:30. I understand that. Thank you so much for joining us. Janelle, Fatuma, and Maytal want to give you the quick last words here. Janelle, I think your hand was raised first.
The only thing I really want to add really quick is that I know that you all don't know me quite yet. I know that I know David and Chris, I know both of you only got to see me the one time at the career night in April. We're definitely going to see each other more. But I want to say that I agree with what you all are saying, David, Chris, Rachel. You guys have made some really good, valid points. I do believe that for myself, I will tell you that, yes, I've sacrificed some of my time with my family, but my family has been so supportive on this new move of becoming a real estate agent. And they understand how important it is for me to be able to build my business and all of that. And they've been very supportive. But I will tell you that I am, as of right now, definitely you don't get to see a lot of me out here selling and, help, getting any listings or anything, but that's just because I'm still waiting on taking that class on Monday, that MLS class. But I will say that I am working hard. I am definitely working hard at this. And even though I have this other job here at the school, it's not going to be an issue to where I won't build my real estate business, because I promise you, I am working hard on that. So I just want you guys to know that.
We know you are, Janelle. We don't question that.
Go, Janelle, go.
We don't question that.
Okay, good deal.
You're doing a great
I just want to make sure.
I can see the work you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Fatuma.
Okay, so what I was saying is, so I sent a message to Sharon to help me, because with my family, we're very busy with activities, and my children during the summer it's busier. But I would like to do 2 open houses a week, and then I was thinking of you guys talking about leverage, and your leverage is a little different than our leverage because you are a lot higher up than us. And so my leverage is to find somebody that is, I'm a visual learner. I would love to find a woman who has had children, who has had to be busy, and who knows how to manage her time and is successful at that. That prayerfully, by the time my children go to school, I can be mentored by somebody, like somebody that I can shadow. I can go to them and see what they do, that I can, because I'm a visual learner. Like I was hearing Crystal say, I'm a visual learner. And I could relate to her because I want to do the open houses. Yes, I can relate to people. Yes, but the business part of it all is not. It's new. I come from the medical system, and I was an employee there. It's completely different. So my desire is personally to find somebody that has what I want. Who I am fearful of the things that they are already doing. That I can kind of see that, so I can bridge into it.
Sure. That's good. Maytal?
Yes, I did
Hey,
it.
glad you joined us today.
Yes. So actually, I agree with every word you're saying, and this is exactly why I'm very connect with this conversation. And I think that everybody have his own difficulties in the life. For me, for example, I moved to US when I was 22 without my family, without my friend, just me. And I'm not married or I don't have children, but it's difficult to build something new, especially in real estate world. And at the end of the day, I agree that time management is the key for everything. And the more you learn is the more you will know. And I just started my real estate career, but I'm trying my best.
You're doing a good job, Maytal. In fact, I've seen several of your posts recently on Facebook, and I love it. I saw a couple of the ones you've done recently, and you just got to keep going. You're going to get there. You're doing a good job, and you're putting in effort. You're doing work, and it might take a little bit of time, but you're going to get there. You're going to get there. You've got the tools. You've got what you need. Just keep going. Keep plugging along. You've got this, girl. We believe in you.
And
you sound wonderful too, Maytal.
What did you say?
You sound wonderful. I know you don't like your accent, but I'm going to continue to say it till you believe it. You sound wonderful when you speak.
Thank you. Yeah, and we are talking about leverage. So I think my main leverage about the real estate industry is the social media at that moment, because this is the only way this is not the only way, but right now at that moment, this is my opportunity to connect with people. And actually it's work. So yeah.
Well, and you found us basically through social media indirectly.
Right. Yeah.
You connected with my friend, and then she connected you with us. So, it was through social media. So you never know who you might end up touching and who you might end up connecting with on social media. So just keep doing it, girl.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Chris, is there any last word you need to get out?
The last thing I would say to everybody in here that is new or that is getting ready to become an agent is, it's simple but not easy. Just start doing open houses, come to training, come to the team meeting, get plugged in, get a coach. We've got Sharon, our productivity coach. Whatever it takes to start doing the activities, and the more you start doing the activities, the results will come.
Yep. That's good. Good stuff. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We will see you Tuesday, hopefully. If not Tuesday, we'll see you again here on Thursday. Sharon Larkin also has the Wednesday Hump Day Hustle. God bless you all. Take care.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Yep.
Bye.